Welcome back to the Pompi podcast. What you hear is what you get. Calm, direct, and real. I'm Pompi, and today we're going to talk about something that no one ever teaches us. It's not how to change, it's not how to make a declaration, and it's not how to have that moment of courage. We are going to talk about what happens after that. Today, we're going to talk about holding your position. Anyone can have a moment of realization. Anyone can wake up and say things are going to be different from now on. But life doesn't test you in that moment. Life tests you later on. Life tests you the next time the same situation appears. The same person, the same dynamic, the same expectation. And in that moment, you are faced with a quiet decision. Are you going to follow your position and stay there? Or are you going to return to what you were before? Return to what is familiar? This is when growth happens. Not in the announcement, not in the declaration, but in the consistency that follows. There was a moment in my life when I realized something very important. Not everyone is comfortable when you grow. When you become calmer, when you become clearer, when you begin to see yourself differently. People notice, and sometimes they just don't like it. Not because you did something wrong, but because you did something different. People become comfortable with the version of you that they're used to. The version of you that was more agreeable. The version of you that was more available. The version of you that did not have clear standards. So when you change, it disrupts that comfort. This is where most people go back. They explain, they apologize. They soften their standards because the other person is uncomfortable. But maturity teaches you something very important. Self-respect does not require a speech. Self-respect is quiet. It's a decision that you make within yourself. You say to yourself, this no longer fits my life, and you act accordingly. This is one of the philosophies I have learned in life, and I've learned to believe in. The world doesn't test your intentions. The world tests your consistency. Not what you say once, not what you say when you're emotional, but what you consistently allow. This is why holding your position is powerful. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It is quiet, calm, steady, and yet it changes everything. Because the moment you stop accepting something, the dynamic changes. The moment you stop participating in old patterns, the pattern cannot continue. And something else begins to happen. You're beginning to see yourself differently. You sit up a little straighter. You talk a little clearer. You walk into a room with a different kind of energy. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's clarity. Clarity about who you are and clarity about what you're willing to accept. And most importantly, clarity with what you will no longer accept. And when you reach that clarity, something peaceful very happens. You stop looking for approval. You stop over-explaining your decisions, and you stop negotiating your own self-worth. Instead, you start asking a different question. Not, is this okay? You start asking yourself, does this align with my standard? That question can change a person's life. Because when you start living that way, your environment begins to shift. Your relationships change, your conversations change, and the room that you walk into, it feels different. That's because you're different. And there's one more truth I want to tell you. Maturity is quiet. It is the ability to walk away without explaining why. It's the ability to remain calm when others expect a reaction. And sometimes they're actually waiting for one. It's the ability to hold your position without permission. This is where real confidence is built. Not in performance, not in attention, but in self-trust. And when a person can trust themselves, their entire life begins to change. This is where my philosophy about life becomes very real. Life is not easy. It is not easy to grow, and it's not easy to change. It is not easy to raise your standard in a world that offers rewards for comfort. But life is worth it. It is worth the self-awareness. It is worth the discipline. It is worth the courage it takes to become the person you know you can be. So this week, I want you to take a minute and ask yourself a simple question. Ask yourself, where in my life do I need to hold my position? Not with an argument, not with drama, but with quiet clarity. Because standards are not announced, they are lived. Before we close today, I want to introduce you to something that I'll be sharing from time to time. It's called the Worth It Woman Principles. A worth it woman does not seek approval. She lives in a way that approval is unnecessary. And when a woman understands that, everything about the way she moves through life changes. This has been the Mia Pompi podcast. And remember, a worth it woman knows life is not easy, but it is worth it. If this episode spoke to you, please follow the show and share it with the woman who needs to hear it. I'm Mia Pompi. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I will see you next week. Easy.